35 miles from Erie in Chautauqua County, New York, there's a special piece of history that, well, it's still going quite strong.
And to experience it, you don't even have to get out of your car. Our John Last takes us there in this edition of The Last Word.
Since 1982, there's been a very easy way to get across Chautauqua Lake from one side to the other. It's the I-86 bridge. But there's another way to get across that's much more historic and much more fun. This is the Bemus Point-Stow Ferry. This particular ferry has been crossing Chautauqua Lake every year for the past 92 years. But vessels called the Bemus Point-Stow Ferry have been connecting the communities of Bemus Point and Stow for the past 212 years. There's been at least 12 of them. The ferry service goes back to 1811. The year Chautauqua County was established.
And the very first order of business of Chautauqua County was Thomas Bemus getting a license to operate a ferry.
The Bemus family owned farmland on either side of Chautauqua Lake, and supplies and animals were transported by the ferry. Walking 23 miles to the other side of the lake would have taken 3 to 5 days. The Bemus family operated the ferry for 77 years. The service was then taken over by a corporation headed by a man named Alton Ball.
We don't know. He may have been a distant cousin to Lucille. We've never really been able to definitively say that, but we say it's rumor.
Ball died near the end of World War II. The service was so important, the county took over its operation. Cars were now prevalent in the area, and the ferry was still the fastest method to get to the other side of the lake. Well, usually the fastest.
They would count the number of cars in line, and I believe the magic number was 19. If you were 19, it was probably going to be quicker to drive around.
Then came 1982. The I-86 bridge was built. Motorists could now get across the lake in about a minute. The need for the ferry was gone. But a group of volunteers did not want the service to die. There was too much history. They took it over. Tourists and locals still drive their cars on board. They get out and they just enjoy the scenic ride. What a nice way to experience beautiful Chautauqua Lake. With the last word aboard the Bemus Point-Stow Ferry, John Last, Erie News Now.
Look at that, you even get a sticker for riding. Now there's no fee for riding the ferry. Donations are appreciated and needed. The ferry operates on weekends from Memorial Day to Labor Day, Fridays 4 to 9 p.m., Saturdays and Sundays from noon to 9 p.m.
Now the ferry could not take passengers from 2018 to 2020, but still crossed the lake at least once to keep its continuous operation alive. We'll be right back.